Welcome to Shit Show! I'm so excited to finally get to bring everyone this podcast. It's been something I've been really stoked on working on, like put some creative energy out into the world. I also think the world is way too serious of a place.
Shit.
Everything you read in the news, everything you see on social media is like negative. And I'm not a negative person. I like to focus on like the happiness and the fun and embrace like the idiocy and ridiculousness that like is life. And I think people have forgotten to do that lately. So I wanted to bring this podcast to like remind people to have some fucking fun once in a while and to vibe out and do your thing and just live life to the fullest. There is a pandemic happening. We can't change that. Physically, as two or more human beings, there's absolutely nothing we can fucking do to change it. But there is no point in dwelling on all of the negatives and missing out on like meaningful life experiences that we will never forget. These are like most of our youngest years. These are the times we're supposed to remember forever. And I will be damned if I don't spend this time fucking making memories. So I'm super excited to do this. I appreciate everyone's support. I have Sydney as my guest today because she knows me better than anyone. She knows that my life is a shit show. She's helped me through a majority of that shit show, so I thought, who better to have on this show
Happy to be here.
than her. I will talk a little bit about what I do for work. Mm-hmm. I am a social worker, so I see a lot of like really crazy shit every day. Addictions, mental health, personality disorders, aggression,
abuse, like
really traumatic stuff. It's like really serious, and I do love my job. I love helping people. I love getting to like see all breeds of people in all walks of life, but I like have to find stuff that keeps me positive and keeps like life fun, because when you see the shit that I see on a daily basis, you need some outlets to deal with that. So I'm excited to like start this up and continue living my wild, crazy life. My job has given me a drinking problem, but that's okay because it fuels the fire that is my life. So cheers to that. I thought that Sydney could ask me some questions. She came up with a list. I don't know what these are yet. I am excited to have her ask me.
Of course.
Then you guys can get to know me a little bit and understand exactly why I call my life a shit show and understand kind of who I am and what I do. So.
All right. Okay, first question that I have is because I want to play on the whole social work thing. There's a lot I didn't know until you were working in it, and then I was like, what the hell is this? So I want to ask, what's like the craziest case you've ever had to take on?
Okay, so this is like when I first started as a social worker, and I will never forget this person. I can't use any names or give any describing factors.
I don't even think you need to for some of these stories.
I worked with this kid, and it was in like a group home setting, and he fucking hated me. Like, from day one, I don't know what his issue was, and they're like, oh, he has autism. And I'm like, I don't fucking think he has autism because this dude tells me he wants to kill me on a daily basis. And my first day on shift with this guy, he stripped down completely naked, broke out of the house, assaulted 2 staff members, and then ran through the south of Calgary completely naked, like punching strangers on the street. And they were like, go chase him. So I'm like running down the street after this naked kid.
Can I ask how old he was?
15.
Okay, so not like a grown ass, like.
But he was like 250 pounds and like twice my size in height. So he was like a big kid, and he was kind of scary. And so like I'm chasing him down the street, and there's this little girl on a bike, and she's like, I can't make this shit up, dude. Like, I've never seen anything like this in my life. She's just riding her bike, doing her own thing, minding her business. This kid fucking fully charges her with his fist and pushes her off the bike.
This poor little girl.
She's like maybe 4. Like, she's just vibing out. Like, it was fucking terrible. And so then, like, you look at the size of me. Like, we have restraint training, but I can't fucking do that by myself.
No.
So I'm just like screaming, like on the phone with the police, trying to get them to come arrest this kid. And all of a sudden I see like 2 men that are like raking their front lawn. They just fucking tackled this kid to the ground, pinned him down. He's completely naked. His dick is like flying everywhere.
Is this like what season?
Like September. It was like September.
Okay, so still cold. Not like, okay.
Imagine that image. Woo! No, so not good. They ended up having to pin him down. Cops came. The mom of the little girl knew that we were a group home, came up to the door, was fucking losing it.
No,
She's like, I used to work in group homes. You funny. And I was like, look at the size of me. What the fuck do you want me to do? Like, I'm literally yelling back at this bitch. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Your daughter's fine. Like,
Yeah,
she's
like,
a little scratch.
we
I
have
have
bigger
mental trauma.
things to worry about.
This kid was like a pain in my ass from day one. I tried so hard to like get in his good graces and like shape him into a good human being, and he hated me for it. Like, he wasn't used to anyone like giving him like boundaries or rules, so he just like would lash out. This is the kid that almost killed me.
Right.
Stabbed me with a piece of Lego right in my ribs, knocked me unconscious with a fucking DVD player, got on the ground and choked me out, beat my arm with a hairbrush all in one day.
She had like at one point like literal, like if somebody had grabbed and just like held, like literally you could see the handprints on her body, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
What is this? Is this normal? And now I'm like, this is stuff that your industry deals with on a daily basis, and I don't think it's talked about enough, because like, I had no idea.
Yeah, me neither. They don't tell you that shit in school. No. Yeah, I think it's like gotten a lot better now since I don't work in group homes anymore. I think those are like some of the most dangerous workplaces you could be in. Like, I would rather, like, the homeless population is better. Because they're like, they appreciate what you're giving them. These kids are locked in the system. Like, I don't fucking blame them for not enjoying their lives and like wanting to hit people. I probably would too if I was chained up like an animal. Like,
legit.
Yeah, so that was definitely the craziest one.
Oh my god, I swear, like, half the things after work, and you're like, I have something to tell you, and it's literally like a new episode of like Modern Family on like steroids. Like, it's like next level. Crazy.
Yeah, that's my life.
Okay.
I don't get assaulted anymore though, so that's good.
Woohoo! Okay, next question I have is, I want you to think, okay, most wild case, what is like the most wild like night that you've had out?
Okay, there was one night that I went to like 3 clubs and like 4 after parties.
Which clubs? Let's start there.
Okay, so we started off at Knoxville's, which, like, first of all, that's your first mistake, going to Knoxville's. Because they had the cheap twisted teas and the cheap tequilas on Saturday nights.
It's deadly, I know.
Yeah, you know.
I know.
Yeah. So I went there, we like downed a bunch of shots, one of my friends puked on the patio, then we're like, okay, we gotta go to the next club. So we went to Commonwealth, because it was like pretty close. Walk in there, you like feel like you're gonna get shot, because like Commonwealth is like gangs.
It's like the wannabe gangster of Calgary.
But it's just like a bunch of people wearing chains and like
yeah.
So then we went there. I don't even know like what happened there. All I know is like at one point I'm like kissing this guy from my high school. Hadn't seen him in like 3 years. Next thing I know, we're like making out, and I feel my friend like pulling my arm away from me. She's like, "We are leaving," and I was like, "Okay." So then we left and we went to Palace Theater, which for those of you who don't know, rave club.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Which that just explains itself right there. And I'm drinking some water, I'm hanging out, and we're like partying there. There's a DJ on, I can't even remember who it was, and then like we were like friends with this person at the time who was like, oh, there's this after party, like come with us. So we're like, okay, at this point it's already like 1 o'clock in the morning, like it's fucking late. And so we ended up going to this guy's house. There were like 50 people there. Everyone was doing beer bongs. We were playing like Flight Cup. And then the guy that we went there with was like, hey, we're leaving. We're going to another party. So we drove to the other end of the fucking city, went to another party.
Like from south to north.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And then we hung out there for like literally 30 minutes, left again, went to another after party, because he like had like connections in like the EDM community, so he'd be like, we're going to all these parties.
Yeah.
And at this party there was a DJ that had played the show. I can't remember who it was, and I probably shouldn't say, but there was a DJ, and we're like partying with them, like everyone's just like getting super drunk. Like I shared my wine with him, I was stoked. I was like, okay, this is great. And then he's like, okay, we're leaving again. And then we go to someone's house, and there's literally like 3 people there, and they're all just like making impulse decisions and doing bad shit. And so we ended up staying there until like fucking 9:30 in the morning, and then I went home and I didn't sleep for like 3 days.
Nice.
So that was probably the most wild. Like it sounds pretty like chill, but it was just so
But like
much.
when you say 3 clubs and 4 after parties, like that is like 6 months worth of going out for me in one night. So like wild. Okay, this one I'm excited for. Okay. What is your most iconic or most embarrassing, like, fashion look or, like, aesthetic that you have had over the last, like, let's say 10 years?
Probably the blue hair.
Mm-hmm, that's what I was hoping to.
I fucking looked like a Smurf. I
Like a Sonic Hedgehog.
I didn't have spiky hair. Let's fucking clarify.
No, it was like this length, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
But like blue.
Like blue, like
yeah, Smurf blue.
Smurf blue. Yeah, I thought it would be hot. I was going through a breakup. I was not in a good place in my life, and I was like, I need to fucking change. And someone in our friend group encouraged me to go from teal to navy blue, and I literally was like a crackhead. I looked like a crackhead. I'm at this like Shams themed party, and I literally am wearing like a pink shirt and like blue pants, and I looked fucked. Like, every picture I look back on that, I'm like, who ever let me out of the fucking house? Like, thank God for my old roommate for coloring my hair for me. I had a job interview, and he's like, okay, yeah, this is not gonna work. Like, he's like, buy some hair dye and putting it in your hair tonight. Yeah. And he dyed my hair back for me, but I was going through some shit.
So from the blue, did you go dark?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were originally blonde, and then platinum, and then blue, and now you've kind of played this, like, darker...
I think it's time to look like an adult. I don't know. Fake it till you
It
make
was
it.
a little bit of a cry for help.
Well, everyone answered, so...
Exactly, it worked,
Thank
it
you.
worked.
I've learned to communicate a little bit better since then. I just call her crying.
It's a pretty normal thing. Okay. Because you have such a crazy work life, what kind of hobbies do you have that keep you busy and kind of give you that, like, release from the stress of work?
I, like, really wish I could answer this and say that I, like, work out or, like, go, like, climbing or do something fucking fun. I drink. I drink a lot of alcohol.
Cheers to that, baby.
But yeah, for real, I have picked up a pretty serious drinking habit since starting this career. And, like, it's not like I'm drunk every day, but, like, I will, like, have a glass of wine or a couple, like, twisted teas or, like, yeah, I don't know, that's, like, a lot of what I do. But I do enjoy, like, going camping or, like, getting out with my friends, and, like, that's kind of fucked right now. So the drinking has escalated.
As I think everyone's has.
Yeah, but that's honestly, I don't have much going on, which is why I am going to start expanding some horizons because I realize you can't put alcoholic on your resume.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, this is kind of like carrying on Wild Nights. You talked about a couple clubs that are in Calgary. If you had to pick, like, your top 2 clubs that were, like, I know some have shut down with all this COVID bullshit, but if, like, pre-COVID, favorite clubs, go.
Okay, so I like Hi-Fi,
Mm-hmm.
because they play, like, their hip-hop nights, and,
Yeah.
like, it's always, like, a good vibe. All the bartenders there are super nice, and it's small, so, like, you see so many people that you know every time you go. There's just, like, a little hole in the wall.
It's a good time.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's closed forever now, so I'm a little sad.
So sad.
Palace Theater also, just because I love EDM music, and also, like, you go to Palace Theater, and you see every fucking type of person.
Like, the whole spectrum.
Like, you see, like, normal people who just like to party a little bit. You see girls with, like, slit tongues. You see, like, girls wearing no clothes. People who are, like, so fucked up they can't walk. Someone who looks homeless. Like,
I'm pretty sure I've seen a guy, like, dressed to a T in a suit at, like, a rave, and you're like, did you mean to go to Common? Like,
are you late for your business?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've also seen, like, really old people there, which makes me laugh.
I know.
We're, like, listening to a dubstep show, and there's, like, this 6-year-old guy just, like,
but that's also going to be, like, us when we're that age.
I fucking hope not.
So.
End my shit if I'm doing that at that age.
You're going to be doing
My
it.
life has failed if I've reached that level. Fuck. Yeah, I'd say that's my favorite. I also really like the layout of that club, because you, like, go upstairs and just, like, sit down and chill, and the bartenders there are pretty nice as well. And
I just like I like the layout. It's like an old theater.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I had to picture, like, way back in the day, like, those, like, old vintage theaters, it's really cool. For those of you who have not been, go. When it opens.
When it was, like, Flame Central, it was pretty sick, too.
Yeah, that's right. I
It's
always
just
forget about that.
always been a good place to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I don't like that laugh, dude.
I always tell her that I, like, live my single life through her. I've been in a long-term relationship for a long time.
How many years?
Going on 7.
Can you believe
Long
that?
time.
Is that real
Long
life?
time. But because I know that the whole online dating, like, dating apps is a thing, I want to ask what your worst dating app story is.
Okay. I have 2. So the first one, I matched with like this pilot on Hinge.
I thought you were gonna say pirate.
I was like, what? I honestly would have preferred a pirate. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Really?
Okay. Continue.
So this guy was like not my usual type. Like he looked nice. So like that's not really my type. You know, I go for like scrawny white boys or like drug dealers or like people who look like they have nothing going for them. Okay, sorry to anyone who's listening, like that's not all of the guys I've dated, but like that's like a pretty bang on description, I would say. Yeah. So this guy, he looked like well put together, like clean shaven, like he's a pilot, which means he's been in school and he's smart and he's dedicated. So I was like, fuck yeah. And he's like, let me take you on a date. And this is during COVID.
Okay, like in the summer months.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he picks me up from my house. And first of all, his driving was terrible. Like, I get really bad car anxiety, but like, he was swerving between lanes. Like, he kept talking to me and like looking at me the whole time. And I'm like, the road is that way, my guy. Like, please watch where you're going. And so then we're like driving. He's like, let's go to Kraft. And that was like super close to my house. I'm like, sure. We sit down at the table. He doesn't even say anything to me. Like, I'm trying to like make conversation. And he's just like sitting there like, yeah.
Oh, I remember this story.
Yeah. And I'm literally like trying so hard to make conversation. He's just not answering. So we're basically just like getting drunk at this point, like in silence. And
which is like, I feel like I'd rather do it alone at that point.
Yeah, me too. Well, okay, let me clarify because he was driving. So he had like one beer in front of him. I was getting drunk. So like I kept ordering beers. At one point, the fucking waiter comes over to the table and he's like, just wanted to give you this free beer. And on my napkin, there was a note written on it, and it said, you look like you're having a miserable time right now. Here's a beer. So I literally was like, you're right, my guy. Thank you.
You're like, I'll go on a date with that guy.
Yeah, he was much hotter. I should have. But yeah, so I'm sitting there. I had like 6 or 7 beers, which like for me.
Holy, that is a lot for you.
And it's like craft beer, so it's a good beer too,
yeah.
Right? And I was so drunk. And so like we're trying to leave. I tripped down the stairs. I went to the bathroom at one point to call you, I'm pretty sure, and be like, dude, I fucking come get me. Like, I cannot.
Yeah,
like,
I think you did.
Just ask him to leave. So we finally got the bill. We're like driving home. He starts driving the wrong way, and he's like, oh, I missed the turn. So I start thinking, like
on the other side?
On the other side of McLeod Trail. He's going the wrong way. And I'm like, I'm about to get fucking murdered. Like,
shout out to Calgary drivers.
Of course you're a serial killer. Here we go. So we're fucking driving down the wrong side. I'm like, my house is that way. And he's like, I missed the turn. That way, you can turn around here. You can turn around here. And I'm just like, yelling. He's like, sorry, I'm just really nervous. And I'm like, okay, well, so am I. Fucking turn around, dude.
I think this is when, at this point in the night, that you sent your location from your phone. So if anything happened where I like didn't hear from her, I could find her.
Which is a common occurrence, by the way.
It is.
Yeah.
I think you just have your location on all the time. So like,
yeah.
If I'm ever like, are you good?
But I always send it individually if I'm scared for my life.
Yes.
So you know to pay attention.
Which has happened a couple times.
Yeah. So then he like finally turns around and we're like almost to my house and he goes, this is probably a good time to tell you that I actually live in Victoria. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, I know that this relationship is going to work really well. I just hope that you're okay with doing long distance. And I literally looked at him and I was like, okay. And then I got out of the car, went inside my house, and never texted him again. Ever. Yeah, it was like the most awkward.
I forgot he lived in Victoria.
Yeah, like, cool, you're a pilot, but you lied on your profile. Like,
did he say he was
in Calgary? Yeah. Yeah, so I was like, that was the most uncomfortable date. And then I was just at home, drunk as shit by myself after that, contemplating if I was ever going to go on another date ever again. And then my second story that I want to share, I went on a date with a lawyer, and he was, like, so hot. Like, I can't even, like, I've never met someone in my entire life who made me as nervous as he did, because he was, like,
really?
He was, like, 6'4", jacked up, blue eyes, blonde hair, like, so fucking hot, and I was literally like, okay, let's meet at this coffee shop. He walks in, I, like, forgot how to speak. Like, I was, like, hi, nice to meet you. Like, I was actually so nervous. And then we, like, sit down and we're, like, talking. And I could just tell it wasn't going well. Like, we had nothing in common. He had a huge ego. He's like, yeah, I live in this building. And, like, you should move into the Telespark building. I'm like, you think I'm that rich, dude? Like, you're a lawyer, I'm not.
Like, you're buying coffee, right?
Yeah. I was literally, like, just, like, trying to make conversation with him. and it wasn't going well at all. And then, like, he had told me he was at his parents' house for dinner the night before, and he had already told me that his parents are not divorced. They, like, live together or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I spent, like, Thanksgiving with them. It was, like, right after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, that's cool, whatever. And then 15 or 20 minutes into this date, I'm not even kidding, he's like, I need to go now. I have to go see my mom. I haven't seen her in a long time. I need to give her a hug. And I was literally like, you told me that you were just at your parents' house yesterday. And he literally looked at me, stood up, and walked out the door.
The nerve.
I know, like,
what?
I don't care if you're not into me, but don't be a fucking prick. Like,
don't blame it on your mom.
I was like, you're some hotshot lawyer and you think you're the shit. Like, I was so pissed. I was literally like, I'm gonna fucking murder you. I like stormed out of the coffee shop. He's still like walking down the street. I literally was like, fuck you. Like, I'm so sick of this. That was hands down the top 2 worst dates. Yeah.
That sounds like it. I am not jealous that you had to go through that. Okay. Next question.
Oh god.
Okay, so talked about worst date. I want to know what like the worst thing that has ever happened to you, like in bed with somebody.
Fuck you.
No, and people need to know this.
Okay. So
you don't need to give names or like.
Oh, I won't be. I was dating someone for a while, and we like to try some new things once in a while. He was very nerdy. And I came over to his house one day, and he had laid out on the bed like a latex, like, Catwoman costume. I'm not kidding.
I know you're not.
Okay.
You called me after in like tears.
And I was like, oh, what's this? And he's like, that's for you. And I was like, oh, what do you want me to do with it? He's like, put it on. We're gonna have some fun. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like pretty open to like role play if someone wants to do it badly, like whatever, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I was like not expecting that he was first gonna put in a Batman porn DVD, make me watch it with him.
It was a DVD.
A DVD, dude, it wasn't even on like fucking YouTube or some shit. It was like a DVD. And he had told me in the past about this DVD and that he used to lend it to his friends. And like, I literally was just like, this is so fucked up. And he's like making me watch it, and then he's like, okay, now we're gonna do that. And I'm like, what? And he's like, we're gonna role play that porno. And then I'm like literally like bent over on my fucking elbows, and he's like, hey, I'm Batman. And I literally was hysterically laughing. I could not fucking control it. And then afterwards I was just like so uncomfortable, and I felt so dirty, and I was like all like sticky from the latex. It was the worst experience of my entire life.
Yeah.
And then another time I got choked so hard in bed that like I passed out. But like I guess I passed out for a decent amount of time.
Did he think he killed you?
He thought he killed me, and he called an ambulance, dude. And
No.
I woke up completely naked, to 2 sexy ass paramedics standing over top of me.
way.
Oh, are you okay? I'm like, oh my god, get the fuck out of my face. Like, I literally was like, give me a blanket. Like, they didn't even cover me up. I was still laying there naked. I was like, this is traumatizing. He's like, I thought I killed you. You were out for like 3 minutes. And I'm like, dude.
Maybe like check my pulse?
Yeah, make sure I'm breathing? I don't know. But yeah, that was traumatizing also. Same person too, no surprise.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, favorite drink, just because, I don't know, why not?
Twisted teas and tequila.
Together?
Sometimes.
I guess that's why Knox on the Saturdays.
Dude, yeah.
It's a vibe.
I have a problem with tequila a little bit now because we drank so much of it at the bar this summer.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I used to love it. And twisted teas, they're not carbonated. They go down like juice. Fucking mint. Shotguns for days.
Okay, what is your, like, motto? If you had to give one.
Bad bitch energy.
And that's pretty much what you try to encompass.
Don't settle for anything less. Don't cry in front of people. Be a bad bitch.
Yeah.
If you fake it, you will make it.
It's true.
That kind of goes hand in hand with, like, power moves.
Yeah, and that's something we talk about, like, all the time.
Literally, we text each other just randomly. Power moves, baby.
Like, I need a motivation. Power moves.
Don't fuck around. Don't make any moves that make you look weak. Power moves only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you've been in a couple different relationships, but I want to know, like, which one was, like, the most awkward, or, like, looking back on it now, you're kind of like, what the hell was I thinking?
Okay, yeah.
Do you want a shot before we tell this story?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, right out the bottle. Oh, cheers. Oh.
Honey.
Ugh.
Just so everyone knows, we had a few drinks before this as well.
It's true. I mean, that's kind of what this podcast is about.
Couldn't share these stories sober.
No. Okay, most awkward or, like, weird relationship looking back on it now.
Okay, so you remember that older guy that I dated? He was like 30.
Yes.
Or 32. He was older. Yeah, he was like 32. He was like a marketing genius. He created his own apps. He was like super rich. He lived in this penthouse downtown that literally like his balcony was bigger than my entire apartment.
Didn't he have like the whole floor, like where he had a balcony like almost all the way around?
It was like a 2-level apartment and then the balcony like split, all the way around.
That's so crazy.
It was insane. But like that's not why I was like dating him. He was actually, I thought he was a nice guy. Turns out I didn't have sex with him for a while. Like, I was like, you were gonna wait.
Yeah.
Gonna make it worth it. Like, you're older, you're more mature, you can wait for it. And it was, like, really weird with him. Like, he would introduce me to his friends, and they would all talk about their, like, super adulty, like, things. And I was, like, 19 at this point. Like, I was super young, which, like, first red flag.
Yeah.
And then the first time we slept together, he, like, takes off his pants, and I see, like, in brick letters above his dick, YOLO. Tattooed. Literally,
what?
YOLO tattooed above his dick, and I was like, yeah,
like how,
dude, big.
Oh my god.
And I couldn't even I got so turned off immediately by that I was like, what is that? And he's like, I got it when I was young. I thought it was funny, and I'm like, well, you're rich enough to pay for the removal, so you should probably fucking get it done. Like, that's terrible. And yeah, and then we ended up like. I don't know why I continued to date him for like a little while longer than that, but like at some point in our relationship he had like a mental breakdown and like went off on me one night and was like, you're the reason that I'm depressed, and like said all this stuff to me, and I was just like, dude, like I'm not about it. You were way too old to be acting this young.
It's not my
that
problem.
Was short-lived, but definitely the most awkward. Yeah.
Okay, now most awkward moment with a stranger.
This happened recently. Like last month.
Okay.
Okay, I don't think I've even told you about this.
I don't know about this though.
Okay, so I stopped dating this guy that I was seeing for like, I don't know, majority of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like super sad. I think also because like I didn't have work that week and like hadn't seen family or friends in a while. So I was just like feeling very like sad. So I was literally just sitting on my couch like crying for like 2 days. And then I was like, oh shit, I'm out of vape pods. I need to go to the gas station. So I like pulled myself together, wiped the tears off my face, drive to Shell on 17th Ave, pull in, I look like shit. I come in and I like have a mask on, and the gas attendant is like talking to some other guy before me, so I'm like waiting in line. And then he like calls me up and he literally just looks at me and goes, yeah, that guy's son used to be a regular customer here, but then he got murdered. So now he's not a regular customer. And he's like, it's really sad. He got murdered. And literally just keeps repeating it. And I was so emotional that
You're
day.
just like hearing murdered.
I started bawling my eyes out. And I was wearing one of those blue masks, so my tears.
No. Does it get like wilted so then your mask is like here and then it goes like down and up?
It was soaking wet, and I'm like just trying to buy my vape pods, and I'm like sobbing. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine." And I literally just grabbed them. I ran out the door. I was like, "I don't even know what to fucking do about this." Like, and then I cried for this solid next 6 hours.
Yeah, I know, you called me.
Yeah, I didn't tell you about the gas thing, but
no,
that was a part of it.
You just called me and you were like, someone got murdered. Like, are you okay?
I feel like half the shit I say to you when I call you probably makes like no sense.
Zero context. I'm like, like clipping my nails, watching a show, and she's like, this just happened to me. And I'm like, okay, are you good?
You just have to tell people sometimes, and you're the only person I can tell, and you won't judge me for it. Like, I can tell you literally anything, and you'll just be like, oh, okay, another day in the neighborhood. Here we go.
Another episode of the shit show. Fuck. Oh, man. Yeah, that's a weird one.
That was awkward. He was just like, oh. But also, like, awkward on his part. Why would you tell a stranger that someone got murdered?
Like,
do I have social worker written on my fucking forehead? Like, I'm not down.
It's like the YOLO tattoo, but like social worker. Like, right on your forehead.
I can't.
Yeah. Okay, next question. If you had to pick a trait about yourself that you thought was the most toxic, what would it be?
Fuck you.
Hey, people need to get to know you. I know this stuff about you already. Most of it. Some of this I haven't heard.
I'm a self-sabotager. When anything is going good in my life, I will do something to fuck it up on purpose. Like, I tell myself I don't want to do that, and then I fucking do it anyway. So, like, if I'm in a good relationship and things are going really well and I like the person, I will fuck somebody else. Okay, and I should clarify, not an actual relationship, because it's 2020 and we don't have very many of those.
A thing.
If I'm in a talking phase and it's going well, I'll fuck someone else so that I don't have to get my feelings hurt or, like, deal with any emotional trauma. Or, like, if something's, like, going well in a friendship, like, sometimes I feel like the need to, like, create drama for no reason. Be like, oh, I really didn't like the way you spoke to me today. Like, I would just, like, I'm really working on it now, like, because I've, like, accepted that I do that, and that's the first step to overcoming your addiction, is to admit it. So
I'm addicted to drama.
But I'm working on it, but that's definitely, for sure, my most toxic trait.
Fair.
Yeah.
Very fair. Okay, now we talk about 2020, the shit show. That was 2020. If you had to, like, take something from the year 2020 and bring it into 2021, what would that be?
That I know who the fuck I am this year.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I agree.
I think every year in my life I've been so lost. And, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if lost is the right word. I think I was unwilling to, like, grow.
Yeah.
As bad as that is to say, like, I was, like, so attached to my traumas and, like, all the bad shit that happened to me that I would just, like, have this, like, victim mentality.
Yeah.
And I think now I know who the fuck I am. I know
Yeah.
that doesn't define me, and I will not accept anything less than what I know I deserve.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that is bad bitch energy.
Power
That is
moves,
power moves.
yeah.
And I'm fucking taking that into 2021. Like, no negative energy. Negative people, goodbye. Like, do
Yeah.
not fucking come around me. Like, I don't care if I have 100 friends. Like, I only need the ones who, like, actually appreciate me. And I'm not fucking around with that anymore.
I love that. Because as someone who has been there for 8 years watching this shit show of episode after episode happen,
Yep.
definitely this year, I think, too, because a lot of people, and I can speak for myself, that we had to learn to, like, cope with shit on our own and, like, be alone and be okay with that. That you kind of reflect on yourself and you're like, oh, like, these people actually don't give me anything, or these people make my life flourish and happy and positive, and it's definitely cool to watch from when I first met you when we were 15, 16 years
I was
old.
a fucking dick.
I didn't like her, and I tell her all the time, the first time we met, I was like, I don't want to be friends with you. And now here we are, like, 7 years later, and in love.
Soulmates. But I respect the shit out of her boyfriend, and he's gonna marry her. I'm just gonna be there on the sideline cheering them on. Yeah.
Okay, next question. We're almost done on my little questions, but because we're talking about 2020 and obviously the weird-ass summer that we had, if you had to pick, like, a favorite memory from what this summer was, what would that be?
Okay. You were there.
Yep.
We went camping to Kukanusa.
Cheers
For
to Kukanusa.
those of you who don't go there, it's the fucking shit. It's in BC. It's like 4 hours away. It's great.
Worth it. Worth the drive.
I'd never been camping there before. So Sid and her boyfriend drove me out there, and we literally just had the best fucking weekend.
It was, like, literally, I wish it was like a movie. Like, that is how amazing the whole weekend was.
Like, that's my favorite summer memory for sure, because there was, like, no drama. A bunch of, like, random people showed up, but I'm thankful for it now, because, like, one of the people that showed up is one of our friends that passed away this year.
Yeah.
And, like, I, like, was drunk as shit, and some guy took me on his ATV, and I ended up, like, chasing cows, like, through a field for, like, 25 minutes, and he just stood there and waited for me to finish what I was doing, and, like, we had, like, a night where we just put on, like, 2000s hits, and we all, like, sang and danced and jumped around, and, like, it was just, like, so great. Like, we went to the beach, we had the best time, there was zero drama. It was my favorite weekend of the summer.
I agree. My birthday was that weekend.
Oh, that's why I love it.
And so one of our good friends, her birthday's 2 days before mine, so we always do something together now. And we were like, we were supposed to go to Shambhala, obviously got canceled. So we were like, let's go camping. We're just gonna have all of our best friends. Like, it's just gonna be a riot. So just adding on to the 2000s nights, like, we're talking like the Victorias and like I'm a Bee by Black Eyed Peas, like
So What by Pain.
Yeah, like there was literally like 30 of us in a circle screaming these lyrics to these 2000 songs. Like, I felt like I was like 8 years old choreographing like to these songs. Like, it was so much fun.
At one point, Sydney and I stopped like dancing with everyone, and we went to the tent and we like broke out this like charcuterie fucking tray she
So
brought
good.
camping because we like bought all the same groceries. We just sat on the ground for like 40 minutes.
Like giggling, eating this, like
Eating.
listening to people sing 2000s hits. Like, yeah, that was a good song.
my
Good
favorite.
memory.
Yeah.
Okay, last question I have for you. I want to know the weirdest thing that ever happened to you at a club.
You were there for this also, babe.
I think I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Because it was probably yours too, because it was fucked.
It was weird.
We went sober
This
to
was
a show.
like last
January.
winter. Okay,
January of
right.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went sober to Champagne Drip after Knoxville's turned into an EDM club, which I let me
forgot about
fucking
that.
tell you is weird enough within
I
itself.
forgot about that.
Because like you don't want to show up to a club like people hear EDM and they think kids on drugs. No,
Yeah.
it's like people who are like a little crazy. Also, like, okay, you think about like normal raves, and it's like obviously like a lot of people there do drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just the vibe for most people.
Yeah.
We went sober to this show. We show up to Knoxville's that we used to party at as teenagers, and we like see a bunch of like 17, 18-year-olds
Yeah,
because
it
Knox
was
lets
weird.
people in with fake IDs. Hate to break it to you all. I've been going there since I was 15. And these kids are on drugs. And I remember being sober, looking around, being like, what the fuck? Like, I'm seeing kids' eyes roll back in their head. Like, I need to call 911 for all of you.
Yeah.
Like, here we go.
It was weird going to that show sober. I worked in the morning. You worked in the morning.
Yeah.
We were like, but we gotta go.
We drove
Yeah.
my dad's truck and parked, which I ended up having to call us an Uber home because we got boxed into the spot because his truck was so long and that parking lot sucks. So we didn't even drive home and we were sober, and I was pissed about
Pissed
that.
off because we needed the truck in the morning, so we had to get up like another 30 minutes early.
Take another
Drive-
fucking Uber.
Drive to Knoxville's, get the truck, and then go to work. And this was at like 6 in the morning. Like, I think
Yeah.
I worked at 7.
I'm not a morning person.
No, I am, but
I'm not an anytime person, honestly. I'm grumpy all the time, but it's fine. Yeah, but do you remember? We were leaving.
you don't even need
The
to say
club.
it. I remember.
We had been like not having a great time all night. We left halfway through. Lucid, he was also a really good DJ, which we loved, but we were not having fun. So we we're like, let's just go home and go to
Yeah,
bed.
we'll just go to bed.
And this like well-known guy in Calgary who actually used to have like kind of beef with my old roommate comes up to us and starts talking to us, and he's trying to flirt with me. I'm like, I know who the fuck you are. Like, get out of my face.
Like,
Like,
no,
we're not
we're not
having this
interested.
conversation. And then this girl is with him. And she's like so drunk, she's like slurring her words, not making any sense. Next thing I know, I watch her put her hand on Sydney's titty. I'm a little drunk, sorry. Put her hand on Sydney's titty, and Sydney like is a very calm person.
but I like swatted her, and I was like,
didn't say anything. You just
yeah, because I was
Karate
like
chopped
stunned, because this was not like a 17-year-old that was wasted. Like, she was like
old.
like in her 30s. I
Yeah,
was
she's old.
with like, okay, if this doesn't tell you enough, low-rise jeans. All I need to say.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Then she keeps like blabbing shit at us.
And we're like trying to leave. We're like, okay, like have fun. We
Yeah.
don't know you.
In the middle of this other guy that's with her, starts trying to like hit on me, and I literally turn around, and just as I'm about to say to him, "Fuck you," I feel a fucking hand go down my pants and touch me. And I look at Sydney, and I look at this random chick, and her fucking hand is down my pants.
Down pants. Yeah.
I grabbed it out of my pants, and I looked at her, and I said, "Just because you're a woman doesn't mean this isn't sexual assault." Like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? She's like, "Sorry, I just want to touch you. You're so beautiful." And I was like, I literally cannot fucking deal with this right now. Like, I need to leave.
I literally think you grabbed my hand and we like ran out of the club.
Dude,
And then dealt with the whole car thing, which was just like, we're so fed up that we just need to leave.
I literally was in the truck trying to back it up, screaming at Sydney like, "Ah!" And she's like, "You need to chill." And
It
I was
was
like, I literally
traumatizing.
have no chill right now. I cannot.
Neither of us have any chill. You know that. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. Even though I could probably ask a million of them and get all up in your grill and business about everything, but people need to stay tuned because there's more coming.
You're always all up in my fucking grill. I can't.
Constantly.
You're the only person I allow to do that. Thank you for asking me these questions. Thank you for being my first guest. Like, you're my favorite person, so I really appreciate it. And thank you again to everyone who's listening. I'm so excited for what this podcast is going to bring. And follow my Instagram, Shit Show Podcast. I'm on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. Please follow because I promise there's more juicy shit coming, and this is just the beginning.
Tell your friends.
And in honor of that, I'm going to get this bitch more drunk tonight. So, shot for you, baby.
Only reason I'm doing this is for you guys.
That's not true. She'll drink anytime I tell her to.
Woo!
Happy shit show, baby!
Tune into the next episode.